Alright, so we just got some news on Sonic Anniversary, and before you get all hype and insane, no, not the 30th anniversary, but the 20th, right? The 20th? Yes, because we have currently got no news on this 30th anniversary of Sonic, now 20th anniversary Sonic news is coming out. What do I mean by that exactly? Well, 9 months ago, I made a video talking about Sonic Generations PSP. Yes, we found out 9 months ago that there was an intended port for Sonic Generations on the PSP, but apparently the PSP wasn't powerful enough to handle it, so they went with the 3DS instead. But the Facebook post goes more into detail. So we can see here it says Sonic Anniversary Debug on an old CDR disc. If you don't remember what a CDR is, man, you missed the 2000s, man, I'm sorry. But it says here, by this Facebook post from Obscure Gamers, preservation matters. Yesterday, a long-lost PSP port of Sonic Generations was found from November 2009. Sadly, the disc was damaged and it was stored on rubbish media, basically a CDR. At this time, recovery of the data doesn't seem possible. Philips discs are prone to this, having found the same issue with a Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 360 build. Half the data was lost again. Back up those discs, carts, etc. They're not forever. Basically, if you don't know how these discs work, you could burn stuff onto these discs and just store data. I used to do it all the time in the 2000s, but those discs are prone to oxidation. So basically, when they're exposed to oxygen, it slowly damages the data on the discs, and eventually shit's gonna corrupt basically. So those discs are not gonna last forever. So if you got some old data on a disc, just know that it's not some forever shit. I mean, you could say the same about hard drives. Hard drives, if you don't spin them up after a certain amount of years, they can also corrupt your shit. So yeah, just back up your shit. The point is, they updated the post and said, so far 14 megabytes of data has been saved. Now remember that these discs can store about 700 megabytes, and Sonic Rivals 1, I'm looking at the ROM now, is slightly over 200 megabytes, and Sonic Rivals 2 is about half a gig. And given that a potential Gen's PSP port may have taken more space, it might have filled up the entire 700 meg. So 14 megabytes of that, not that much that's been recovered basically. The disc was also bubbled on the underside, which couldn't be seen in the picture. The person that owns the disc had tried reaching out to someone who may have a backup of it, but at this time there's been no response. So basically there's now an update to say that there's more data being revealed. And this article here shows us the data that's been revealed. It says Sonic Generations cancelled PSP port uncovered. A cancelled port of Sonic Generations for the PlayStation Portable has been uncovered. Sonic Generations was originally titled Sonic Anniversary. Oh, that makes sense. So that was the original title of the game. That's why, because I mean, Sonic Anniversary is a lame name for a game, let's be real. I'm glad they came up with the name Generations. And was planned for the PlayStation Portable. The port was cancelled for unknown reasons. However, a build dated back to November 2009 has been uncovered with assets exported. While the disc was damaged, the Sonic Anniversary logo, button prompts, a debug menu, and a screenshot of Mushroom Hill have been uncovered. Based on these assets, the planned PlayStation Portable version of Sonic Generations was a port of the Nintendo 3DS version, which was developed by Dimps. So yes, now we can actually see some of the data that was on the disc. Now again, because the disc was corrupted, most of the data is proving hard to retrieve. Maybe they'll find a backup of this build and we'll get more leaks later. I mean, a Sonic 1 prototype just surfaced after what, almost 30 years since Sonic 1 came out? So we never know, we might get more of this in the future, but right now all we got is this. So we're gonna quickly browse through these images and see what they've been able to uncover from this corrupted disc. So first off, we got a Sonic Anniversary logo. I mean, it's a nice looking logo. It kind of has a similar like style and aesthetic to the Generations logo that they ended up using in the end. Really, Prem? But yeah, obviously it was just a working title. Glad they didn't stick with it. And here we can see the button prompts. Obviously it's a PSP, so it uses Sony buttons. You can see the X, square, triangle, circle, the anniversary, the Sega logo, and the back images, which kind of look familiar. Is it the ones that we see in regular Generations? I don't even remember. And these are the ones from the debug menu: ID _ test level, models, view set, frames 12, load. Yeah, I mean, this is debug images. And of course the best one here, the screenshot of Mushroom Hill. So as you remember, Mushroom Hill was in the 3DS version of Generations, because Generations 3DS had, for the most part, different levels to the main version of Generations on the 360, PS3, and PC. So Mushroom Hill was on the 3DS version, so they're saying that this was from the 3DS version. I mean, given that the PSP came out first, I would think that they would have made it on PSP and then put it on 3DS. I don't know if they mean that they ported it from the 3DS to the PSP, or attempted to, or they tried on PSP first, gave up, and then went to 3DS. Nonetheless, this is the Mushroom Hill aesthetic that they've got here, and comparing it to the 3DS image, I mean, graphically you can see the 3DS one is a bit more advanced, but it's not too far off. Now I don't know what the frame rates would have been. I don't actually remember what frame rate Generations 3DS ran at, because, well, I didn't really like the game much. I haven't played it in years. So if it was pulling like 30 FPS on the 3DS, and remember 3DS came out like 5+ years after the PSP, I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, the PSP just couldn't handle it at a stable frame rate. I mean, the Rivals games are running at 30 FPS, I believe. I know Rivals 1 ran at 30. I can't remember if Rivals 2 also ran at 30 or if they got that one to 60. I assume they both ran at 30. I did beat both of the Rivals games as a kid. It's just, you know, it's been years, so my memory's a bit faint. But yeah, you can tell that Generations 3DS has superior graphics to the Rivals games. That being said, I still think the Rivals games look pretty decent for PSP games. I mean, you're seeing the footage right now. Obviously, those games are made by Backbone Entertainment, and if they were to repurpose that engine that they used for the Rivals games, they could have used that for a Generation style game. I know the Rivals level design was a bit simpler because it was focused on racing, but I still believe that they could have repurposed that engine to do something Generations related if they really wanted that Generations PSP port, but maybe they just decided against it because the 3DS was now selling and the PSP was becoming old hardware. It was like already 5+ year old hardware, let's just ditch it kind of thing. And of course, if you remember the video from 9 months ago, they also talked about the fact that there was also going to be a Wii version of Generations, and that ended up becoming Sonic Colors. So I guess if they were going to cancel out the Wii version, and the Wii was like huge at that time, then of course them canceling out the PSP version was just light work at that point. They were probably like, we've already given the PSP 2 Sonic games, you know, and technically at this point the Wii got Secret Rings and Black Knight, but because the Wii was just doing so well, they're just like, we'll give them Colors, you know, give them something, you know. PSP fans will just have to keep replaying Rivals 1 and 2 over and over again, get no Generations. But nonetheless, it's really cool to get like lore like this, to see like the things that could have been, you know. Like, I know they were gonna have like an Unleashed PC port at one point, like, and they ended up going against it for some reason. Like, I don't know, especially with a game like Unleashed that struggled to run on its own hardware. Had it had a PC port from the jump, it would have been really great. But somewhere in the mid 2000s, I think Sega just started to hate PC for some reason. Like, I think Riders was the last thing we got on PC, and that was a really bad port. On some computers it ran fine, others it ran like shit. I remember I had a friend whose laptop was worse than mine in terms of power, and it ran Riders like smoothly. And on my laptop it was lagging the fuck out. I don't know, but yeah, after Riders we didn't get any solid PC port until Generations. That was a good 5 years of my teenage life waiting for like PC ports to come back, and it felt longer than that, to be honest, because main titles like 06 weren't getting ports either. Shadow didn't get a port either, and that's from 05, and of course Sonic Adventure 2 didn't reach PC until the 2010s. So, you know, throughout most of my childhood, after the lens on my Dreamcast broke, I didn't touch SA2 until it came to like PS3, 360, and PC in like 2000. It was insane. Like, the whole 2000s I barely touched SA2. Unleashed is on the same engine as Generations, and I didn't get a port. So my point is, either way, it's nice to see things that were cancelled or like behind the scenes come to light eventually. Maybe if we see that Unleashed PC port one day, like, just this was the build we had, like, even if it's just unfinished, just to see what it would have been like. Maybe it's just one level, just try it out and see what it ran like. It'll be interesting, right? But yeah, Sonic Anniversary, the precursor to Generations, would have been on PSP, but nonetheless it didn't happen. Maybe some dedicated fan would just mod the fuck out of Rivals or make a Generations project and just put all the gens, textures and stuff into the Rivals games. Like, I would totally play the fuck out of that though, let's be real. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. Would you have copped Sonic Generations on PSP? Do you want to see more things from the past of Sonic's history uncovered? I know I wouldn't mind seeing the Sonic 06 E3 demo get leaked, to just putting that out there, you know what I mean? But yeah, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, subscribe to the Non-Sonic channel, link in the description. But that's all I have to say right now, so Remy out.